What if trying to be liked is the very thing making you weak? What if the more you try to please people, the less they actually respect you? Because there's a dangerous truth about human behavior most people never realize. People don't respect those who seek approval. They respect those who don't need it. Today, we're uncovering Machiavelli's dark insight into respect and power, and why letting go of being liked might be the moment you become truly powerful. From a young age, we are taught to be likable, be polite, be agreeable, avoid conflict, make others happy. And while these traits can create harmony, they can also create something else: weak positioning. Because when your behavior is driven by the desire to be liked, you begin to sacrifice boundaries. You tolerate disrespect. You avoid saying what needs to be said. You adjust yourself to fit others. Machiavelli understood something most people resist. Respect and likability are not the same thing, and often they move in opposite directions. Section 1. The Approval Trap. The need to be liked is one of the strongest psychological drives. Humans are wired for social acceptance. It once meant survival, but in modern life, this instinct can become a trap. Because when you constantly seek approval, you become predictable. You say what people want to hear. You avoid disagreement. You hesitate to assert yourself. And people quickly sense this, not consciously, but psychologically. They feel that your behavior is influenced by their opinion. And the moment someone realizes they can influence you, your perceived power decreases. Section 2. Respect comes from boundaries. Respect is not given because someone is nice. It is given because someone has limits. Clear boundaries signal strength. They show that you value your time, your energy, and your self-worth. When you say no without guilt, when you refuse to tolerate disrespect, and when you stand firm under pressure, people begin to adjust how they treat you. Because boundaries create psychological resistance, and resistance creates respect. Section 3. The Psychology of Discomfort. Most people avoid making others uncomfortable. They fear conflict. They fear rejection. They fear being disliked. But here's the truth. Respect often requires discomfort. When you set boundaries, not everyone will like it. When you speak honestly, not everyone will agree. When you stop pleasing people, some will react negatively. But this discomfort serves a purpose. It filters out those who only valued your compliance and reveals those who respect your authenticity. Section 4. Emotional detachment increases influence. When your actions are driven by emotion, especially the desire to be liked, your decisions become reactive. You adjust yourself based on how others respond, but when you become emotionally detached, something shifts. You start making decisions based on logic, not approval. You stop chasing validation. You become stable, and stability creates influence, because people are naturally drawn to those who appear self-controlled and independent. Section 5. Not everyone needs to like you. This is one of the hardest psychological truths to accept. You are not meant to be liked by everyone. In fact, trying to achieve that often leads to losing yourself. Different people have different values, preferences, and expectations, which means no matter what you do, someone will disagree with you. The dangerously smart individual understands this. They don't try to win everyone. They focus on being consistent and authentic, and that authenticity naturally attracts respect. Section 6. The Power of Saying Less. People who constantly explain themselves often lose authority. Why? Because over-explaining signals uncertainty. It suggests that you are seeking validation. But when you speak clearly, briefly, and with confidence, your words carry more weight. Silence, when used correctly, can be powerful. It creates mystery, it signals confidence, and it forces others to interpret your presence as strong. Section 7. Fear and respect are closely linked. Machiavelli made a controversial observation. It is safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Now, this doesn't mean becoming intimidating or cruel. It means understanding that respect often comes from perceived consequences. If people believe there are no consequences for disrespecting you, they may take advantage. But if they know you have boundaries and that crossing them has consequences, they think twice. This psychological balance between warmth and firmness is where true respect is built. Section 8. Self-respect comes first. The way others treat you often reflects how you treat yourself. If you constantly seek validation, you communicate that your worth depends on others. But when you respect yourself, your standards rise, your behavior changes, your boundaries strengthen, and people begin to mirror that energy. Because respect is not something you demand, it is something you demonstrate. Final psychological takeaway. The desire to be liked is natural, but when it becomes your primary goal, it weakens your position. Because you begin to shape your identity around others' expectations. Machiavelli's lesson is not about rejecting kindness. It's about balancing it with strength. Because real power comes from knowing your value, setting boundaries, and not being controlled by the need for approval. Because in the end, being liked might make you comfortable, but being respected is what makes you powerful.